Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Sword and Shield Movesets video. Today's video is going to be all about the 7-spot Pokemon Orbeetle. So let's get started by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So to start things off, Orbeetle is a bug psychic type Pokemon with access to 3 abilities. The first of which being Swarm, which is an ability that boosts the power of bug type moves by 50% when you fall to a third of your health or less. And the second ability is known as Frisk, which is an ability that allows you to see your opponent's item when you enter the battlefield. Finally, its third ability, Telepathy, is only useful in double and triple battles, but it will be making it so that you cannot be taking damage from any of your teammates' attacks, such as a move like Earthquake or Surf. But as for its stats, this Pokemon has a fairly low base 60 HP stat, but a great base 110 defense and 120 special defense stat, allowing it to take hits very easily from both physical and special attackers. And with access to Recover, this Pokemon is definitely able to sustain itself for a long period of time as it takes repeated hits from its opponents. Offensively though, it only has a base 45 physical attack, so you're not going to get too much use out of that, but it has a respectable base 80 special attack, allowing it to do some decent damage with the special moves that it has. Lastly, it has a base 90 speed stat, which is very unusual for a Pokemon like this as it is fairly bulky, and you don't normally get a Pokemon that has a pretty good speed stat and also a lot of bulk simultaneously. So that is something that I think is going to separate this Pokemon from a lot of other bulky Pokemon that you might be running on your team, as it does have the ability to actually move ahead of some of your opponents, and even on a more offensive set, you have quite a bit of defenses backing you up, which is amazing for allowing you to take a hit while you attempt to set up or damage your opponents in a variety of ways. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the first moveset that I have for you in this video. So for this first moveset, we're going to be running Orbeetle as a physically defensive or especially defensive support Pokemon. So we're going to start this one off by giving it either a bold nature to boost its physical defense or a calm nature to boost its special defense, while both natures will be lowering your physical attack. And for the ability, going with Frisk. As for the EVs, we're going to put 248 into its HP stat to give it an odd HP number, as this Pokemon is weak to Stealth Rock, and then we're going to max either its physical or its special defense by putting 252 EVs into either of those stats, and it really just depends on how you want to run this particular Pokemon. There's also a mixed defensive EV spread that I'll be showing you a little bit later on that you could also incorporate into the set as well, but we're always going to be putting those remainder 8 EVs into its speed stat to make it just a little bit faster. And for the item on the set, we're either going to run Leftovers to allow it to recover a little bit of HP at the end of every turn, or the new item Heavy Duty Boots, which is going to prevent this Pokemon from taking entry hazard damage when it switches in, which is very important for it as it is weak to Stealth Rock. So this can actually be amazing for this Pokemon as it won't take a ton of damage and actually be able to switch in and wall off attacks pretty well, as it won't have to worry about the entry damage when it does switch in if hazards are up. But as for the moves, the first thing that we're going to go with is really going to determine how this set functions, and the first option that we have here is Sticky Web, which is a great move that will be lowering your opponent's speed every single time they switch in, as this is one of the coolest entry hazards in the game. But alongside this, we could also run Hypnosis to potentially put opponents to sleep, Confuse Ray to confuse them and make him have a chance to not attack, or even running Trick Room on this Pokemon as well, which can be very useful on a Trick Room support set to allow Orbeetle to set up the Trick Room for your other teammates to make use of. But alongside this, we're going to go ahead and run either Psychic or Psyshock as our Psychic type stab, Psychic obviously hitting your opponent's special defense, where Psyshock hits your opponent's physical defense, or going with Bug Buzz here as just kind of your sole attacking option if you would like. But in your third move slot, you can go ahead and include Bug Buzz again to give you the dual stab coverage, or go with a different option such as U-turn to allow you to switch in and out of battle more easily, which is great for a Pokemon like this as it is capable of taking hits very well, so you can take a hit and then U-turn out on something your opponent might be switching into to try and take Orbeetle out, which is a really cool strategy you can incorporate. But we also have Mirror Coat as an additional option here as well to allow you to potentially dish back any special attacking damage you may take from an opponent and potentially land a kill that way. But the last move on the set, regardless of what you use for the others, is always going to be Recover, as being able to heal 50% of your HP every single time you use this move is going to be incredibly valuable for any defensive set on this Pokemon. Now for the second set, I'm going to be showing off another way we can run this Pokemon as a defensive support, this time though as a dual screener. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Bold Nature to increase its physical defense but lower its physical attack, or an Impish Nature to increase its physical defense but lower its special attack for really one specific setup that we can use. But for the ability, we're again going to go with Frisk, and for the EVs this time, we're going to run a mixed defensive EV spread, which will include 248 HP EVs, 112 defense EVs, and 148 special defense EVs. And for the item on the set, we're going to go ahead and run Light Clay, which will be extending the turns of our Light Screen and Reflect from 5 to 8. And if you don't know how those moves work, Light Screen increases your team's ability to take special hits, and Reflect will increase your team's ability to take physical hits, thus allowing you a very easy way of bringing in many frail attackers to have them not have to worry so much about taking a ton of damage when they switch in. So a set like this is very good for offensive teams, which is really cool, but can also work to support defensive ones or balanced ones as well, as the amount that you are reducing the physical and special damage is very significant, and thus allowing your team to take hits incredibly well. But alongside this, for our third attack, we're going to run either Psychic or Psy-Shock as a main stab Psychic move for the reasons stated previously, or Bug Buzz as a main stab Bug type move. But we can also just go ahead and run U-Turn here as well, as it will allow you an opportunity to set up your screens and then just U-Turn out to something to take advantage of them. But for your last move, again, we can also just incorporate U-Turn here if you would like, or go ahead and run Recover again like on the previous set to allow you a very easy way of healing off any damage you're taking while you set up your screens. Another great thing to also keep in mind is that because this Pokemon is pretty quick, you're going to be able to set up screens very successfully, as you'll probably be outspeeding a bunch of stuff in the process. And also this helps to obviously sustain you, as you'll probably be recovering faster than maybe some of the slower Pokemon you might be matched up against can attack. But the reason why we can run the Impish Nature here is really just if we only use U-Turn as our only attacking option, as it will mildly make it so that you are doing just a little bit more damage with your U-Turns, even though this Pokemon's physical attack really isn't that great at all. Now moving on to a more offensive set, Orbeetle has all the tools to make it an excellent choiced attacker. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Timid Nature to boost its speed but lower its physical attack, and again run the ability Frisk. But this time our EV spread is going to include 4 defense EVs, 252 special attack EVs to max that out, and 252 speed EVs to max that stat out as well. And for the item on the set, since it is a choiced set, we're going to either run Choice Specs to boost our special attacking damage by 50% while locking us into a move, or a Choice Scarf to boost our speed by 50% while locking us into a move. But for those moves, again, Psychic and Psy-Shock are going to be our special Psychic type attacks of choice, and then Bug Buzz is going to be our main stab Bug type option as well. Alongside this, in our third moveset, we have quite a bit of flexibility. We can run Shadow Ball for additional coverage, as this Pokemon's dual stab is unable to damage Steel-type Pokemon fairly well, so Shadow Ball is a great neutral option to damage Steel types, which can be very beneficial. We could also run a Grass-type move in the form of Energy Ball for a stronger option, or Giga Drain for a bit of a weaker option, but having healing associated with it. Or just go ahead and run U-Turn again, which is great for scouting, and also allowing you to switch out on a potential switch in that can take your Psychic and Bug type moves very easily. But the last move on the set is going to be Trick, which is an amazing move to use in combination with a choiced item, as it'll allow you to pass off your Choice Specs or Choice Scarf to an opposing Pokemon that might not be designed to only be locked into one move. So this is a great option for allowing this Pokemon to potentially cripple an opposing Pokemon by making them choice locked when they normally wouldn't want to be. But all in all, this set has pretty much everything it needs to function amazingly well as a powerful special attacker or a very speedy special attacker for your team. Now for this fourth moveset, if we remove the choice item, we have quite a few boosting options to potentially run with Orbeetle to make it a very powerful offensive threat. So for this set, we're going to start with either a Timid Nature to boost your speed but lower your physical attack, or a Modest Nature to boost your special attack but lower your physical attack. And for the ability this time, we can run either Frisk or Swarm. As for the EVs, we're going to run the same spread as the previous moveset to maximize our special attack and speed. And the item on the set can either include a Life Orb to boost the damage of all of your attacks at the cost of losing 10% of your health every time you damage an opponent, or going with a Slack Berry to boost your speed in a pinch, or a Papaya Berry to boost your special attack in a pinch, if you're going to be using this set alongside the first move that I could recommend, which is going to be Substitute, which will get us behind a protective barrier to shield us from attacks and statuses. Now, this berry isn't mandatory to use alongside Substitute, but using Substitute with these berries makes them a lot easier to incorporate into your moveset. But for your first move, we can also run either Calm Mind to boost our special attack and special defense by 1 stage every time we go for it, or Agility to boost our speed by 2 stages every single time we go for this, to make this Pokemon either more powerful or more quick. Then for your second option, we can include these boosting moves again, alongside Bug Buzz as a stab bug type move. And for your third option, possibly including Psychic or Psyshock as a more general option for a special Psychic type attack, or going with Stored Power as an option to take advantage of the boosts you might be acquiring, as the power of Stored Power increases with each boost that you get. Or again, you could just run Bug Buzz here. But if you want to go with the dual boosting option, Stored Power can be incredibly powerful alongside the use of Calm Mind and Agility. As for your last move, again, we have Bug Buzz here, or going with the other coverage options in the form of Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, or Giga Drain to give this Pokemon some variety in the types of Pokemon it can either hit super effectively or neutrally. But if you go with the substitute variant, just keep in mind, if you go with Calm Mind, you're going to probably want to go with the Slack Berry, and if you go with Agility, you're probably going to want to go with the Pitaya Berry. And Substitute can also be very beneficial for this particular moveset to get you into the range where Swarm will be activated, thus allowing you to do an incredible amount of damage with your special bug-type attacks. Now, because of this Pokemon's great bulk, you can actually run a very powerful defensive boosting set as well to really allow this Pokemon to take advantage of all the things it has at its disposal to do damage to its opponents incredibly well and not take a ton in return. So for this defensive Calm mindset, we're going to start by giving it a Bold Nature to boost its physical defense but lower its physical attack, run the Frisk ability, and then an EV spread of 248 HP EVs, 252 physical defense EVs to max that out, and putting the remainder 8 EVs into its speed stat. And for the item, just like with the first set, we can either go with Leftovers to recover our HP at the end of every turn, or Heavy Duty Boots to allow us to not take damage when we switch in. But for the moves on the set, Calm Mind is going to be our first option to allow us to boost our special attack and our special defense by 1 stage every single time we go for it. And then for our move options for damage, we can either go with Psyshock again, as it'll be hitting your opponent's physical defense, or go with the Stored Power option to take advantage of our boosts in a much bigger way if we were able to acquire a few more. But Bug Buzz as well is also a great option here. And then for your third move, including either Bug Buzz, Giga Drain, or Shadow Ball as options for coverage, Giga Drain being especially useful on this particular set as it will allow you to get some recovery back while you are setting up, which can be incredibly beneficial. But again, running just dual stab or including Shadow Ball here is another just great option for solid neutral coverage. Finally, for the last move on the set, again, Giga Drain and Shadow Ball are there, but Recover can also just be an excellent option for allowing you to heal off any damage you've taken while you are setting up with Calm Mind. However, Substitute can also be a great option on this set as well, as it will allow you to get behind a protective barrier to shield you from attacks and statuses while you attempt to set up with Calm Mind, and also in the process make your substitutes even harder to break on the special side of things. So there's quite a bit of flexibility with how you run this, but Calm Mind on a fully maxed out defense set for this Pokemon is incredibly powerful at making this Pokemon very difficult to kill and also very powerful in the process. Finally, for this last moveset, I have probably one of the most interesting setups you can run on Orbeetle, which turns it into a powerful mixed attacker. So for this set, you can either run it specially offensive or specially defensive. So with the specially offensive one, you'll go with a Modest Nature to increase your special attack but lower your physical attack, and for the specially defensive one, you'll go with the Calm Nature to boost your special defense but lower your physical attack. And then we're going to go ahead and run Frisk again, and for the EVs this time, putting 248 into your HP, and then either maxing out your special attack or your special defense on this particular set, as both have a ton of viability. Again, the special defensive variant being significantly more bulky, whereas the specially offensive variant allowing you to deal a lot more damage with the set. But the last 8 EVs are again going to go into your speed stat, and for the item, running either Leftovers or Heavy Duty Boots for reasons stated previously. But for the moves on the set, the first one that we're going to go with is going to be Iron Defense, which is a very unique option for this Pokemon to run, as it will be boosting its physical defensive stat by 2 stages every single time we go for it. And this, combined with a new move introduced in a Generation 8 known as Body Press, allows this Pokemon to do an insane amount of physical damage to its opponents, because Body Press is a physical attack that is based off of your physical defense. So this Pokemon having a great physical defense stat alongside these Iron Defense boosts is going to make it incredibly powerful of a physical attacker, despite this Pokemon having a only base 45 physical attack. So this is a really cool way to incorporate that into this Pokemon's damage dealing abilities, and will allow this set to be very unique compared to some of the others you might be used to seeing on it. But alongside this, we're going to go ahead and run Sight Shock or Stored Power as our main Psychic type stab option. Stored Power only being more powerful than Psyshock after you've acquired 2 Iron Defense boosts, but with all 3, this move is going to be probably the strongest special attack you have at your disposal, but Bug Buzz can be a great option as well for a powerful bug type move. And lastly, we have Recover to allow us to heal off any damage we take while we attempt to set up with this particular set. But it's just a very cool and unique way to potentially run Orbeetle as a powerful mixed attacker due to the unique moves that it has access to. But anyways, everybody, that is it for this video, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my Orbeetle video, and as always, be sure to take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.